This next sequence is excellent for releasing and balancing out the muscles in the low back and the deep core. So if you have any kind of back pain or hip pain, you might just bookmark this little sequence to do later. So we'll start by drawing the right knee into the chest, interlace the fingers over the knee. You can grab behind the knee, extend the left leg along your mat, press out through the heel. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift the left leg all the way up. Pause here. Point and flex the left foot. This is called tissue flossing. Helps to relieve sticky places in the connective tissue, around the blood vessels, around the nerves. It also helps pump the blood back from the foot to the heart. Now circle the foot to open the ankle joint. Go both ways. Come back to stillness. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lower the leg nice and slowly to your mat. And as you reach the floor, just let the leg flop. Why do we do that little flop? So that all the tension in your psoas muscle empties. So you're not doing anything. Just for a moment. Then inhale, press out through the left heel again. Exhale, lift the left leg up. Pause at the top as you breathe in. Use the exhale to slowly and steadily lower the left leg back to the floor. And let it just onto the floor. I'll do that 2 more times. Breathe in. We use the exhale to lift. Breath in at the top. Use the exhale to lower down. One more time on your own. And then extend both legs. Pause here. Tune into your body. Listen. What do you feel is the difference between the two sides? Whatever it is you sense is different between the left and right side. This is the kind of sensation that we are listening for in this practice. Draw your left knee into your chest. Interlace the fingers over the knee, or you could grab behind the knee. Press out through the right heel. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift the right leg up and pause here. Point and flex the right foot. Let's circle the foot to open the ankle joint. Going both ways. Take a breath in as you come to stillness. As you breathe out, slow and steady, lower the right leg to your mat. And let it just flop onto the floor. Then breathe in, press through the heel again. Breathe out, lift the right leg up. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out, slow and steady, lower the leg to your mat. Do that 2 more times on your own, following the breath. There can be a tendency or an urge to want to rush. Just notice that if that's true for you, and go slow anyways. Next week, we'll talk about why are we going so slow? There is a reason. And you've done 2 more, 3 more. Let your both legs extend. Pause. Check in and listen. What is different now? Then roll on to your right side. If you can, or if it's comfortable on your shoulder, you can side with your arm. Not comfortable on your shoulder, you can use a little pillow here or a block, and then just extend your arm right out in front of you. What's important for this next exercise, which is to release the low back, is that the shoulders are stacked right on top of each other and the hips are stacked. So it could help to imagine you're lying against a wall and that wall's preventing tipping. The left arm rests right on the side. Knees come right up in front of the hips and the heels are right below the knees. So we're looking for here and a right angle here. Why is that important? Because we want the hips, the pelvis, to be in neutral. So if the heels go this way, see how that tilted my hips forward? If my knees are below my hips, that's also going to tilt my hips forward. So the knees up and heels below the knees is going to keep that pelvis in neutral. And once the pelvis is in neutral, then we're targeting the right muscles, the correct muscles. And those are in the low back on either side, right along the spine. They're deep. They're called the QL, Quadratus Lumborum muscles. You can't really touch them from straight on the back. You have to go in through the side. That's how deep they are. So that last exercise, we released the psoas. In this exercise, we're releasing the muscles right on the other side of those called the QL. So left arm rests on the side body, neck is long. Lift the feet off the floor, keeping the heels right under the knees, and then lift your upper body. So we're not lifting the neck like so. The neck stays long. We're actually lifting the whole upper body so that these muscles on the side all contract. They're all turning on. Now here's where the magic really happens. Slow and steady, like butter melting in a pan. Melt back to the floor. Oh. Do that a few more times. Lift the feet, lift the head by lifting the upper body, and then slow and smooth lower to the earth. On your own, do that 2 more times. Notice any tendency to want to rush and let the slowness be like a meditation. When you've done 2 more, pause, roll onto your back, and notice any change in your low back. What you might notice is the muscles on the right side feel a little more spacious, a little less tight. Then roll onto the other side. Support your head with your arm or with a prop. Stack the shoulders, stack the hips, bring your knees right up in front of your hips, heels right below the knees. Then lift your feet off the floor, lift your upper body by contracting these side body muscles. And then slow melt back into the earth. No rush. And then lift. You're wondering what the breath is doing, just let it be at rest so that you can go nice and slow. Couple more times. Notice I'm not lifting like as high as I can go. I could go way up here. I'm only going about halfway because I don't need to go that high to get these muscles to engage. Really just trying to get the muscles to turn on and then slowly off. So it doesn't need to be a huge movement. When you've done 2 more, pause and roll onto your back. So you can check in. Notice if anything changed. So we released the psoas, we released the QL. That was another pesky muscle. And the 3 of these will get into a tug of war with each other. So we're going to give some attention to that third muscle. It's called the piriformis. And it is deep in the hip. It attaches your femur bone to your sacrum. Your sacrum is this big bone at the base of the spine. So start with your feet on the floor, knees bent, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So the ankle is on the thigh. Flex the right foot. And then just very gently press the knee away from you. So we're opening that hip very gently. This is one of those places, anytime the hips are involved, and this is one of them, to listen. Where is that point where I want to stop opening the hip? Why do I say this is the most important place to listen? Because yoga can inadvertently damage our hip socket. So here's a moment. Listen, how far do I want to push that knee out before my body says, stop, please? And just honor that limit. I promise it's enough. From here, you could just stay. This might feel nice, like you're getting a good stretch in that right hip. If you feel like you want to explore more intensity, you can lift your knees up into your body and interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. This is also where you might use a strap, putting the strap instead behind the thigh. So this is option 2 right here. And maybe you tried it out and you're like, actually, my body's saying I'm going to go back to option A. So then just come back here. Let's say, though, that you want to try a more intense option. Option C is to grab your shin bone instead of the back of the thigh. If, as you're going more intense, the back of your head is starting to kind of scrunch up on the floor and your neck is getting short, drop your chin toward the small of your throat so the neck stays long and your shoulder blades stay on the floor. That will drive the stretch into the hip, and it might even tell you that, oh, this option is too intense. And I'm going to go back to option B. So meet yourself right where you're at. And then release your leg. If you're holding on to it, bring both feet back to the floor. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And flex the left foot. Gently press the knee out and away, just until you feel a little resistance, and then honor that resistance. Then you might stay right here. Option A. Option B is to lift the knees up into the body and grab behind the thigh. And option C is to grab the shin bone, keeping the neck long and the shoulder blades on the floor. Take 3 breaths. Using that 3-part breath. And release the pose, bringing both feet back to the floor. Pause for a breath.
Notice how you feel.